The 7 levels of family.
Cutaways of all time.
Hey, are you lonely?
Do you like to party with hot
Whoa!
girls?
What about horsing around with fat guys?
To the ones that pushed a few boundaries.
Yeah.
That truck's coming up on us awful fast.
Let me walk you through briefly the 7 levels of Family Guy. Level 1, controversial. Level 2 is basically, were the writers on crack? Level 3, mid. 4, the good. 5, getting better. 6, the bangers. And level 7, well, that's every episode that deserved 1,000 Emmys. So let's kick off things at level 1 with the really controversial stuff. Family Guy has some not so PC humor.
I am ready for...
Those jokes have led to countless complaints being filed to the FCC and the Parents Television Council, just outright demanding the show to be kicked off the air for good. Every episode of Family Guy will offend someone, but what's the most controversial one of all time? Well, that title has to go to Partial Terms of Endearment, an episode so problematic it literally wasn't even allowed to air on US.
Did y'all ever seen that episode? I don't even think I saw the episode. But if I did see that episode, how weird would it be? It probably might be like, maybe.
In this episode, Lois becomes a surrogate for an old college friend and her husband. However, when both parents die, she wants to terminate the pregnancy and discuss getting an abortion with her doctor and Peter.
Well, so what? You like
While Peter was all for Lois getting an abortion, he has second thoughts after encountering some pro-life protesters and their anti-abortion messaging.
Hello, friend. I hear you're contemplating having an abortion. Remember, science has proven that within hours of conception, a human fetus has started a college fund and has already made your first Mother's Day card out of macaroni and glitter.
Successfully converted, Peter races back into the family planning center and drags Lois home before she can have the abortion.
We have decided against the procedure.
Really? Why?
If God wanted us to kill babies, he'd make them all Chinese girls.
Peter takes his new pro-life stance a step further and actually bans...
I'm Bob Costas, here with Boston Marathon winner Peter Griffin. How did you do it?
I just got in my car and drove it.
Very morbid fact for you. A real-life terrorist attack happened at the Boston Marathon just 1 month after Turpin Cowboy aired. The gag of Peter committing mass murder got the episode pulled from air. It was put back on in 2014, but still, that was some scary foreshadowing. This next controversial episode aired in 2009, and even back then it pissed off the LGBT community.
No, I'm afraid not. It's gonna be just fun.
Invite Ida to dinner, and Peter has some very big questions about her transition. Unable to accept this, Quagmire storms away from the dinner in disgust. Feeling hurt, Ida hits the bar, but cheers up when they meet a friendly little doggy named Brian. Unaware that Ida is trans and Quagmire's dad, Brian, sleeps with her. The next day, Brian brags about the amazing woman he made love to, and Peter and Lois are dying.
This is the best day of my life!
You know what? You're just jealous because I found a real woman.
When Stewie finally breaks the news to Brian that Ida is Quagmire's dad and trans, the dog reacts in a way I think, well, just see for yourself.
We still call him Dan?
No, Ida.
Wait. What did it say?
Ida.
Hold on. It said maybe 34 seconds was a bit too much speed up. I don't get it. What do you mean maybe 34 seconds? What the heck can I do with Brian kissing the man? What that do about Brian being gay? What that got to do with it?
Brian's disgust at discovering he slept with a trans woman, among many other things in that episode, was deemed shockingly insensitive by LGBT writer Brent Hardinger. The Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation also criticized the other character's treatment of Ida. In one instance, Lois actually makes Meg throw away food Ida has prepared because she's disgusted by the fact that she's trans.
How thoughtful. Throw it away in the outside garbage.
That crumble definitely did not deserve to get thrown in the trash. The episodes on level 2, however, they're even more garbage than Peter Griffin himself. The first pile of rubbish up on level 2 is an episode nobody asked for, and one Seth MacFarlane will never be forgiven for. Life of Brian. After time traveling to 17th century Jamestown and giving the Native Americans guns, Stewie and Brian aren't particularly welcome when they return to present-day America.
Damn it, we're surrounded.
Getting a smoke signal here.
You gave guns to the Indians, and now they're running everything. I mean, you're the one who's all...
Travel back in time to fix their mistake, and after returning home, Stewie destroys his time machine so he'll never mess up with the past again. 5 minutes later, he goes to play sports with Brian, and this is precisely why you do that sort of thing in the park, not in the middle of the road.
Oh my god!
Crap, what the hell happened?
That guy sucked.
Damn.
Brian is rushed to the vets, but his injuries are so severe there's nothing the doctor can do. Now the Griffins must say goodbye to their beloved family dog.
Damn it, Brian, you can't die. We were gonna become windsurfers. I was gonna be a little better than you, but we were both gonna be good. You've given me a wonderful life. I love you all.
I'm not crying. I'm allergic to my microphone. Stewie vows to rebuild the time machine so he can save Brian from getting run over, but he can't find a titanium capacitor anywhere. It looks like Brian is really gone for good, and the whole neighborhood shows up to give him an emotional send-off.
Damn it, Ortiz. Stop swinging at junk.
What the frickin' fight at Quagmire? Dude don't even like him. Only 30 days pass, but the Griffins decide to move on and get a new dog. Unforgivable.
Well, Vinny, welcome to our home.
I was already angry the first time I watched this, then I started the next episode, and these bastards replaced Brian in the opening credits of the show. I was about to wreck.
Why would y'all replace Brian? Probably wasn't even dead that long, and y'all already replaced him. Y'all already got a new dog. Then in the open / intro, y'all replaced him. Y'all are messed up. Brian wasn't even going that long, and y'all already replacing him.
So much stuff, but thankfully, Brian did come back from the dead. In Christmas, guys, Stewie stole a return pad from his past self at the mall and traveled back in time to save Brian from getting run over.
You're alive, my friend! Thank you for saving my life. A lot of other families would have just gotten a different dog and moved on.
Brian deserves a public apology from his family and the dirtbag who ran him over in the first place. And we deserve an apology from the writers of those awful episodes. Seriously, writers, you can't kill off a beloved character, replace him like he meant nothing, and expect an
Did you just crap your diaper?
I got scared when the door closed.
The staff won't be back until Monday, so Brian and Stewie will have to wait it out 48 hours in a room that now reeks of baby poop. Stewie can build a time machine, but isn't smart enough to figure out a way out of a safe. He is, however, evil enough to propose a disgustingly diabolical solution to the smell.
If the poo were to be removed,
I'm not following you.
Eat it.
What?
Eat it, Brian.
You're out of your mind.
Brian calls Stewie messed up and says he'd rather shoot himself than go anywhere near his poop. Be arranged, though.
There's not gonna be any trouble as long as you eat my poo.
Brian reminds Stewie that he can use his cell phone to get them out of the safe, but he wastes battery trying to return a fracking sweater.
This day.
Now I'm trapped in here with you and your stink because you were too stupid to call somebody who could help us.
That really hurt.
Probably his revenge for the slap, evil Stewie guilt trips Brian into finally eating his diaper full of This scene is hands down one of the most revolting moments in all 23 seasons of Family Guy.
Okay, you ready?
Okay.
Don't do it right here. I don't want to watch.
It's your poop.
Yeah, but it's your thing.
It's done.
Got some dessert for you.
That absolutely grotesque scene is pretty much why the episode Brian and Stewie has been thrown in the trash category. Nothing else really happens in the episode, it's just them locked in the vault. Honestly, if this is your favorite episode, I don't know what to tell you. To each their own. Your standards just might be as low as Meg's, though.
I'm back. I brought another picnic. You're such a good listener. You're so good with animals.
There was a lot of garbage in that scene, which reminds me of this cutaway gag.
The Hudson Brothers?
No? Who are they?
We've got a short clip.
It's the Hudson Brothers Razzle Dazzle Show with Ken Ziegler and Peter Cullen, Avril Chow, and sets, lights, and all sorts of fun things.
Yep, the writers were so lazy they didn't even try to write a joke for this cutaway. They just hijacked a completely different TV show and called it a day. We're moving on up to level 3 now, folks. That means it's time to revisit some older episodes of the show that are neither good nor bad, just mediocre. Let's start with the Meg episode because you can't get any more mid than that. In the kiss scene around the world, Meg falls in love with the hunky news anchor Tom Tucker. Now, there are so many reasons why Tom would not want a piece of Megatron, and unfortunately, the only guys, or I guess guy, interested in her is this. Meg becomes an intern for Channel 5 to get closer to Tom Tucker, and the job is beyond anything she's ever dreamed of until she finds out who her partner is. While Meg and Neil were only supposed to be making coffee when a serial killer who targets journalists appear on top of Town Hall, Diane and Tom send the teens to cover the dangerous story in their place. Believing she's about to die, Meg starts lamenting all the milestones she never got to experience in life, like being some drunk guy's last resort or having her first kiss. However, that last one can still be arranged.
I'm here for you.
The assassin is tackled and taken into custody. What a relief. And even better, nobody saw Meg locking lips with Gross Neil. I mean, surely the creep wouldn't have recorded the whole thing and made an entire news segment about it, right?
But the real story was inside the mouths of Meg Griffin and Neil Goldman.
Oh, I forgot.
This is where we cease to be Meg and Neil and begin life anew as Neil.
I forgot.
Oh my God.
Meg is understandably mortified, but her reaction may just be a little, well, just take a look.
I'm allergic to peanuts.
Imagine if I tried making a video on the 7 levels of Peter and Lois's parenting. They're so horrible, it'd be impossible for them to even make it to mid. Meg decides to set the record straight with her own news segment, and she didn't even try to let Neil down gently.
The moon. There's a reason no one goes there. It's cold. And it's ugly. Wait, that's not the moon. It's Neil Goldman's face. Would you kiss this guy? No way.
May, that's the lowest of the low. You ain't have to do Neil like that. You could gently lay it down slowly in a nice, peaceful way and everything. You didn't have to do all that. You really did.
God, no! What's the matter with you?
That was way harsh, Meg. Neil is heartbroken by his lover's cruel words and climbs to the top of town hall ready to off himself. Meg rushes to the scene and begs him not to jump, but a passing helicopter knocks Neil over. Now he's hanging by a thread. Thankfully, Tom Tucker has just arrived in time to save the Channel 5 ratings.
Hey, have that cartoon sound effect guy cue up the... And if there's time before commercial, be ready with a...
Tom!
I love Meg. She's the only character in the show who has any kind of morals, and if nobody else will help Neil, she'll risk her own life saving him.
Good stuff.
You do care.
Meg's empathy has come from all the abuse she's suffered. Peter sure as hell didn't teach her how to care about others.
Come on, Lois. When have I not been there for you?
Get out of the damn car, now!
Screaming you're dead. Thanks for the ride, lady.
This vicar did not deserve a promotion from his boss.
Wow.
On Mr. Saturday Night, Peter asks about becoming head of toy development, but surprise, surprise, he ends up killing him instead.
Nobody even knows about this yet. Police, random dead body search.
The toy factory gets demolished, and now Peter must look for a new job. Not being the most qualified guy on the block, he tries out careers like toilet attendant, airport scammer, and even the oldest profession in history.
One steamer.
Nothing's working, and money has become so tight, so Peter's planning on eating the kids to survive. Luckily, Lois has money saved up from her piano lessons, and she wants Peter to use it to finally pursue his dream career, Renaissance fair jousting.
It's him.
Allow me to introduce the best of the best, the Black Knight himself.
Honestly, I was expecting his dream job to be something way more ridiculous than that. Sir Peter desperately wants to impress thy hero, the Black Knight, and trains non-stop back at the Griffin abode. At work, Peter stuffs a bird-up maid map. Peter gets offered the position of lead jouster, but turns it down as he's already lived his dream. Anyway, those episodes we just saw were probably the reason why Family Guy got canceled by Fox in 2002. They moved to Adult Swim after that, but once the ratings started climbing again, Fox came crawling back. Season 4 and 5 were then released, and we got so many amazing episodes like Hell Comes to Quahog. Now that Family Guy's back in full swing, let's move on up to level 4 and revisit that infamous tank episode, shall we? Peter ditches Meg at the roller rink for the last time, and she demands her own car. Unfortunately, there were no cars that matched her personality in stock.
Yes, are the new bulimic cutting mobiles in yet?
So Peter settled on a frackin' tank.
Okay, Lois, you can open your eyes.
Bocce ball!
What the hell?
Here, that was the dumbest
Hey, Peter, can you blow that towel rack down here? Thank you.
Now, if you're tall and feel rude for existing in any public place, at least you're not the guy who parked his tank front row at the drive-in movie theater and then did this.
There's no conflict in this movie.
When are you gonna get rid of that stump?
I'll do it, all right? Just get off my back.
She's gone. We can finally be together.
But Tim, I'm rooted to the ground.
The next day, Peter takes Meg out for a test drive in her new tank, and thank heavens Joe is paralyzed, because imagine feeling this kind of pain.
It's here. Joe, my God, what happened? Hey, look at you. You look like a half-empty toothpaste.
Escapes Meg's tank. She gets the new super.
Yeah, like she'd get paid for that.
What did he just say?
Damn.
Forget it. It's nothing, Meg.
As if that wasn't disrespectful enough, Peter joins a group of anti-Superstore protesters and starts pelting Meg with eggs. However, once the hypocrite gets offered a job at the store himself, he sells out and immediately gets to work, if that's what you even call this.
Dad, what are you doing?
I am so freaking good at coloring. I know I'm not supposed to go outside the lines, but I do anyway because I like being myself.
Dad?
I mean, hey, at least he managed to actually clock in and put on the uniform. Meg's hard work gets her promoted to assistant manager, but she now has to fire Peter for obvious reasons.
Boy, I'm a little chilly.
Despite all the BS Peter has put her through, Meg is too kind to fire her dad and quits her own job, but it's not like she'd ever had one anyway after this.
Brian, why were you sitting up like the... Pause. I'll say something. Kind of, it wasn't racist, but it seemed like I was going for that racism type way, but I ain't doing that.
That's our little terrorist. Think Frick Stewie's violent nature simmered down as he grew up? Otherwise, he definitely would have started World War III. So why did I just mention grown-up Stewie? Well, he's the star of our next episode, Stewie's Excellent Adventure. Following the events of Stewie Be Good and Bango is his name-o. Stewie's crossed paths with his 35-year-old self, and he's buzzing to find out all the incredible things he must have accomplished by now. Has he traveled the universe more than Rick Sanchez, killed Lois, achieved world domination, maybe got a one-man Broadway show? Well, he just about managed to hold down a retail job.
Yeah, I bought this boombox here, and it's got this high-pitched whine.
Well, let's have a look.
It's yours now, sucker!
So, if the rest of the Griffins haven't already been taken out by natural selection, what are they up to these days? Well, Brian's long dead, Lois aged normally, Chris got married, became a cop, Peter became even more ugly and deplorable.
You need some help, Dad?
Nah, I'm good.
As for Meg...
Knock, knock.
Oh, hi, Ron.
Who's that fellow? It's Meg. She had a sex change right after college.
Gotta say, Ron kinda looks a lot like Tom Tucker. Little Little Stewie is majorly disappointed with the way his life is gonna turn out. If he thought living in a shabby rundown hotel was the worst part, he needs to take a deep breath right about now.
Tell me, how many times have we gotten into those Lane Bryant stretch pants? What? Never. Damn right, never. What do you mean, never? All right, that's it. I could handle you. March in there right now.
The lovemaking is a disaster. 8 seconds of penetration, 40 minutes of crying. It still counts. Stewie couldn't be prouder.
8 seconds. That's twice as good as you did in rehearsal. You know, intra-office near-death experience at the community pool. But that was nothing. My therapist said I've been suppressing some very complex emotions. May well have caused me to take fewer risks. There's only one thing to do.
Stewie says goodbye to his older self, returns to the past, and stops the accident from happening. He saved Big Stewie from becoming a 35-year-old virgin. However, some people's destinies are just set in stone.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
You can call me Ron.
Ron. You know, I've always really liked that name. Ron.
Stewie never seemed to have an issue with Ron living his best life, but there's one guy who fell down a path he'll never approve of.
Oh, and if Cookie Monster calls, tell him I am not talking to him until he gets out of rehab. Contraband check.
Damn, Cookie Monster.
What are these? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? I don't know how they got
Come on, Cookie Monster.
You guys are Nazis, man! You're freaking Nazis!
Monster.
Classic cutaway. And what's waiting for you guys on level 5 is even more hilarious.
Brandy, you're out. Sorry, you have to sleep with Rob Schneider tonight. Making cappies. Remember that?
I was born in
1987? That girl's pushing 40 now. Man, this show's old. It's not a bad thing, though, honestly. The older Family Guy gets, the more iconic its episodes are going to become. And I've got a real classic in store for you guys. And then there were fewer. The Griffins and various other characters all receive an anonymous invitation to a dinner party in their honor.
James Woods?
I'd like to introduce you to my lovely companion, Priscilla.
Who's he?
James Woods.
I thought he was a shark.
No, he was on a show called Shark.
But he's made of wood?
His last name is Woods, but he's not made of wood. Nobody is.
James Woods explains he's become a born-again Christian and wants to make amends with everyone he'd screwed over. But when he leaves the room, the dinner party becomes less than holy.
I can't help feeling this would be sadder if she wasn't heavy.
Fearing their necks, the guests try to escape, but the bridge is broken, and the phone lines have been cut. There's no way out and no one to call for help. Full-blown panic breaks out. Herbert steps in and tries to restore order, and even in the most dire of situations, he still finds a way to be a pervert.
Whoa, 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 all right, look. Everybody but Chris, just keep... Whoa, 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 all right, look. Everybody but Chris, just keep your pants on and let's...
Herbert, how are you trying to help everybody and still be a pervert at the same time? Are you sick in the head or you just...
When Woods returns, Peter ironically calls him out for being a murdering monster. However, Stephanie's body is gone, and he was actually completely innocent after all.
I didn't get
it!
Nice.
Now, suspecting the killer is one of them, the guests start fighting, but discover a secret entrance leading to a study. Inside, they find James Woods' diary documenting all the ways he screwed them over. Muriel is accused of being the murderer and mysteriously disappears when another power outage strikes.
She's gone!
As long as there's a murderer on the loose, none of us are safe. All right, let's split up and search the house. Chris, you check the basement with Herbert.
Brian and Stewie find Muriel dead, so she couldn't be the killer, and if nobody finds out who it really is, they'll all be dead by morning. Derek heads to the roof to try and get a signal while everyone else stays put in the dining room. Priscilla is missing, so another fight breaks out over whether she's the killer or not. Then the killer strikes again.
What are you doing up here?
Meg finds the blood-soaked award that killed Derek under Tom Tucker's bed, and Priscilla couldn't have planted it there because she's dead too.
Going to jail, Tucker. After him!
Meg chases and tackle Tom. By morning, the storm is past. Repairmen are busy repairing the bridge, and police arrest and...
My God, you're the killer!
Very clever, Lois. You shouldn't have stopped to say hi to me. You would have lived longer.
Why do I ever try to be friends with other women?
Diane explains how she framed Tom for murder so she could become the solo news anchor she always wanted to be. She still doesn't know what happened to Stephanie's body. Guess that'll always remain the greatest mystery of our time.
Damn it!
Of course, Diane had to murder the guests who didn't deserve to die. If she had killed Quagmire, Herbert, and Peter, she wouldn't have even committed a crime, just a public service. Diane holds Lois at gunpoint and takes her to the edge of a cliff to murder her, but she's saved by a mysterious hero.
Hello? Is anyone there? Whoever you are, thank you.
Anybody's gonna take that down.
I didn't even intend to follow up that episode with another death-themed episode, but here we are, I guess. In Death is a... Peter finds a lump on his moobs. Dr. Hartman says he'll be okay, but Peter declares himself deceased on the insurance form just to avoid the hospital bill. American problems, am I right? As Peter's supposed to be legally dead, it does not take long before Death shows up at the house to claim him.
Come on, man. Which one is Peter Griffin?
This is Peter Griffin.
Peter does a runner and Death chases after him. However, he sprains his ankle and can't leave the Griffin house until it heals. Now that he's off sick, everybody on Earth is temporarily immortal, and boy is Peter gonna make the most of it. After Peter drinks 300 bottles of beer without succumbing to alcohol poisoning and gets shot multiple multiple times without feeling a thing, everyone at the clam starts to notice they're immortal too. Word spreads quickly, and Trisha Takanawa shows up to the clam to fact-check the rumor herself.
I'm here with Peter Griffin. Peter, are you saying that if I shoot you in the head, you'll be completely unharmed?
Why don't you give it a shot?
You're awful.
And since the laws of death no longer apply, I can do this.
Sick of natural order being disturbed, Death agrees to spare Peter if he goes out there and does his job for him. He gets teleported to a plane, and all he has to do is sit there. His mere presence as Death will make the aircraft crash, killing everyone on board apart from him. However, sweet Season 2 Peter Griffin just doesn't have the heart to snuff out dozens of innocent people.
Peter's not the kind of person that you expect to be a killer. Like, yeah, he might beat up a kid, blame him, but he's not a killer. Peter can't, the only time Peter probably might, I think, do murder if it comes to, like, his family. But besides that, he ain't no murder.
If they die, I'll have nothing to watch on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Other than the fine programs on Fox.
An air hostess landed the plane safely, and all the passengers survived. The world has been reminded that the rules of death still apply, so Death isn't too angry and lets Peter off the hook. This time.
Hey, don't worry. I'll be back really soon. Is he joking? Okay, see you later.
That was kind of a happy ending. Well, if you can forget that Death is literally on his way to start killing people again. We're at level 6 now. That means we're stepping into super iconic territory, and what could be more iconic than one of Family Guy's very first cutaway gags?
Okay, do you have any disabilities, past injuries, physical anomalies?
I didn't have gas for the first time until I was 30. What the hell was that?
Or how about just some of the greatest Family Guy episodes ever created? In PTV, Stewie beats up Osama bin Laden and his terrorist friends before cycling through the most awesome intro of the show to date.
Wait, what the hell is that?
Back at the house, Peter's stoked about watching the Emmys, but Lois forces him to go watch Meg's boring play.
Now, are you gonna go to Meg's play like eating red carpet?
After the performance, Peter is angry that he missed what he considers to be one of the most memorable moments in television history.
When a trouser malfunction caused him to expose his testicles.
That's just great, Lois. Thanks to you, I missed a moment of television history.
The incident makes the FCC decide to censor anything that might be deemed inappropriate across all TV shows, even bikinis and Dick Van Dyke's name. Certified couch potato like Peter won't stand by and let his favorite shows be ruined, so he starts his own television network called PTV and airs uncensored versions of classic shows as well as his own original material.
My God, where's my roast pheasant? By now, I think it's in my lower intestine. You cheeky bastard.
Welcome to Midnight Q. Tonight we're going to enjoy the smooth jazz of Charles Mingus, and then we also have a girl from Omaha who's hiding a banana. We'll find out where. Giggity goo.
Cheeky Bastard and the Giggity Show are great, but at the end of the day, all the Emmys really deserve to go to Peter's side boob hour.
And welcome to the Peter Griffin side boob hour. Look at that side boob. How about that side boob? That turn you on? Well, it shouldn't, because that's my side boob.
It's content like that really just makes you think. Despite the fact that she once aired her own at church, Lois is disgusted by the obscenity on PTV and reports her husband to the FCC, prompting Peter, Brian, and Stewie to break into a musical number about how ridiculous the FCC's regulations really are.
There's no negotiation, FCC!
The FCC shuts down PTV, but when Peter tells them they can't stop people from being who they are, they decide to start censoring everyday life too.
What?
The FCC doesn't stop there and actually bans farting by making everyone wear a device that converts the noise into Stephen Wright jokes. The censorship eventually becomes so bad, people can't even have the privacy of their own homes anymore.
How about a little angry? Huh?
All right. Those actions are highly inappropriate.
What?
Lois finally admits Peter was probably right all along, and after a party is thrown to celebrate this rare moment of his life, the Griffins go to Washington and get the FCC rulings reversed. However, reversing the past and Meet the Quagmires was a lot harder for Peter to pull off. After listening to yet another one of Quagmire's perverted stories,
You know what I discovered? An angle, like the entrance to Hogwarts.
Peter begins to feel like he's missing out on all the stuff Glenn gets up to because he's married. Trust me, Peter, you're not. Suddenly, Death is summoned to the clam on a false alarm, and Peter asks to be sent back to 1984 so he can spend one night as a single Pringle again.
This is Newport Country Club.
That's right, Peter. You're 18 years old again. At least that's how everyone will see you.
Peter cancels his date with Lois to go dancing with Cleveland at the bar and makes out with Molly Ringwald. However, blowing her off on the past, so when Death sends Peter back to the present day, things are all...
If you go back in the past, let's say I went back to the past, and I've been probably like 15, 16, right? And I actually saw a girl, right, at that age, and I come back to 2025, bro. I'll be happy. That girl, mine. Like, bro, going back to the past, it's crazy. But if you change one thing in the past and then come back to present day, you will definitely see a big difference when you undo that.
A lot more, shall we say, giggity.
Yeah.
Meg, stop staring at Mr. Griffin. I'm afraid she's got a father's libido.
What can I say? I'm a vegetarian.
Honestly, Stewie's pale skin makes him resemble Stan Smith way more than Quagmire. While Peter altering the past made Lois marry Glenn, it's not all bad. He's married to Molly Ringwald, and the world is actually a much better place.
With President Gore's universal health care, people are living much longer these days.
There's no street crime. Face it, Peter, you not marrying Lois was the best thing that ever happened to the world.
Peter doesn't care about the free health care, though. He only wants Lois back. Death agrees to send Peter back to 1984 again so he can fix his mistake. He's determined to not blow things with Lois this time around, but he's Peter Griffin. Death should have known he'd screw everything up again and again.
Death!
Hey, Peter. You all set to go see Zap tonight? I figured Scott Baio
Yeah, Scott Baio, gay, blah, blah, blah. Can't wait to see the movie.
Well, terrific.
Hey, Peter. Say, I was just getting ready to hit the town. You want to join me?
I can't, Cleveland. I got a date with Lois.
It's gonna be fun.
What the hell are you...
Death!
Death is fed up and refuses to give him another chance, so Brian and Peter sneak into the country club and try and stop that kiss that made Lois fall in love with Quagmire happen.
Lois, may I have this dance?
Peter, you had your chance with me and you blew it. Now leave us alone.
Wow.
Is that what you really want, Lois?
Yes, it is.
Peter asks Lois to marry her, and she says yes. In the present day, everything is back to normal, and Meg, Chris, and Stewie are back to their old selves. Still ugly, but with normal-sized jaws. There was, however, one teeny tiny thing that changed.
Hey, let's just all be grateful that things are completely back to normal again. Who ate all the pecan sandies?
I hate that Seth MacFarlane still hasn't given us a proper Family Guy American Dad crossover. I'd love to see how Roger and Stewie would get on. I feel like they'd either bond over Roger's wit.
They never did that. They never had Family Guy and American Dad like crossover. They did with Homer and Family Guy, but they never did with American Dad and Family Guy. They never did. They have to do with the Cleveland Show and Family Guy, but Family Guy never got the crossover with American Dad.
So simple, so beautiful, so legendary. No cutaway will ever top this. Now, you can all argue in the comments about whether Take On Me is the GOAT song of the 80s, but there's absolutely no debating that these are the two best Family Guy episodes of all time. First up, back to the pilot. Brian wants to find a tennis ball he buried in the yard years ago, so Stewie takes him back to January 31st, 1999 to locate it.
Mom, my lips are too thin. Can I please get collagen injections?
My God, what's with Meg's voice? She sounds like someone who's about to give up a huge opportunity.
Anyway, Brian finds the spot where he buried his tennis ball, but he needs to wait until he returns home to dig it up. Otherwise, he'll alter the past, and that goes against the golden rule of time travel. Instead of risking it with the tennis ball, stupid Brian literally tells his past self about 9/11, and he foils the entire attack himself, which is honestly impressive on so many levels, despite knowing it would happen.
Time to terrorize the terrorists.
Ugh, you prepared catchphrases for yourself?
By stopping 9/11 from happening, Brian saved thousands of lives and became an American hero. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows from here. Brian also sparked a second civil war, which ended up killing millions.
9 southern states have declared that they are seceding from...
Came from former President George W. Bush.
If anyone out there can get their hands on a clown suitcase, I'd very much like to see what's inside of there.
I think we have the wrong clip. What? Okay, that was George W. Bush declaring civil war on the northern states.
See, Brian, this is exactly what I was talking about.
Brian and Stewie travel farther into the future to see if things sorted themselves out, only to find America has descended into a post-apocalyptic wasteland with cyborg cops and frog people.
Freeze, Frogmire!
Ribbity.
Brian and Stewie travel back to the pilot again to warn a past version of Brian not to spill the beans about 9/11. Brian promises he won't breathe a word, but being an aspiring writer with no morals, he simply couldn't resist taking credit for one of the best-selling book series of all time.
There's the writer of the Harry Potter series. Must be weird with us muggles, huh, Brian?
Oh my God. All right, you...
Wait! Hold it! Stop! I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just looking for the can.
Wait! No! For God's sake, why? This is why! Oh my God, what's that?
Stewie holds a vote, and yes, 9/11 wins. And he orders all the Brians and Stewies to get on their return pads and go home without touching anything. Guarantee nothing else gets messed up, Stewie and Brian return to the moment right before they originally arrived at the pilot to intercept their past selves and stop them from ruining history.
Just get back in your time machine, get back to the present, and stay there!
Look, just calm down.
Stewie and Brian wait for themselves to disappear as the time travel adventure has been erased from existence. Back in the present day, Brian and Stewie are left wondering what their alternate versions did to mess up the future, but at least everything is as it should be. Well, almost everything. There's only one Stewie and Brian time travel episode that's more legendary than Back to the Pilot, and that is hands down, you guessed it, Road to the Multiverse. Stewie wins the Quahog Clam Day Fair with a pig that surprisingly wasn't Meg.
Most genetically perfect one in the contest.
Oink. My God.
Brian wonders how a baby got a genetically modified pig, and Stewie introduces the dog to some Rick Sanchez-level science he's been working on.
Prepare yourself, Brian, and I'll show you.
I don't know about hog.
Hey, look, there's Quagmire.
Thanks, honey. Say hi to your husband. Got AIDS again.
You heard of a bar crawl, right? Well, Stewie takes Brian on a universe crawl, and they visit the most bizarre realities imaginable, like a universe where Meg is hot.
My God, is that... And you know what's amazing? In this universe, she's still one of the ugly ones.
A Flintstone universe, an ice universe, a universe where Japan...
How you so sexy and hot, but still ugly? And that made no sense.
A universe where everyone has two heads, and a universe where everyone needs to poop right now. However, the most adorable universe by far is clearly the Disney one.
Suddenly I feel all sweet and warm and fuzzy.
Everyone's so cute. Hell, even Peter's cute. And then there's Meg. The seemingly perfect Disney universe turns out to be violently anti-Semitic, so Brian and Stewie leave the pie behind to visit other worlds, like the Robot Chicken universe, a World War III universe, a weird blocky universe. I'm glad they hit the button because that was just too much cuteness for me to handle. Brian and Stewie land in a universe where humans are subservient to dogs. Brian wants to stay forever, of course, but his new pet Stewie might have a bone to pick with that. Stranded in a strange world with no way home, Brian and Stewie go to 31 Spooner Street for help, but the Griffins are a little more furrier than usual.
Hello, my name is Blake Carrington, and this is my human, Gabe.
Come on in, I'm Peter. This is my family, and this is our human, Brian.
Nice to meet you.
So human Brian is literally an adult version of Ferb. Dog Stewie explains he's built a universe-traveling device and offers to send Brian and Stewie back to their original universe, but even in alternate realities, the fat man still finds a way to ruin Stewie's plans.
Misbehave, or the human catcher will come after you, Gabe.
My name's not Gabe!
Stewie will be euthanized for being a dangerous human. Luckily, Dog Stewie breaks into the jail and sends him and Brian back to their original universe. Human Brian tagged along so he could live in a world where humans are superior and finally be a somebody. I mean, he'll be the reason somebody goes to jail for reckless driving, but...
Look at him go. He can finally reach the full potential. Oh my God, he got hit by a car!
And there you have it, folks. The 7 levels of family.